Hi, this is Keiko from Brooklyn Shoe Space for Shoe Talks Quarantine Edition. It's kind of funny that we still call it Quarantine Edition, but for Shoe Talks, we're going to be inviting Matt Deffer of MD Custom Boots. He's also a cowboy boot maker, Western cowboy boot maker. I feel like I've been kind of focusing on cowboy boot makers lately. I opened the lid and I have been finding so many here in the US, and I find it exciting. So we're keeping on interviewing bootmakers. Let me see if he is on. Yes, he is. I'm gonna call him in. Sorry, it's taking a little. Hi, how are you?
Hi everybody. I'm doing
Oh,
well.
good.
It's not terribly hot out there today, so
Oh,
we're doing
good,
well.
good. You know, where I am, it's getting a little more chilly. Look, I'm wearing my sweatshirt.
Now there's no need to cuss at me, ma'am. That's awful rude of you.
Sorry about that. So where are you
No,
located?
no, I'm
How
just
are you?
joshing.
How's
I'm in
everything going? And how's your, with the COVID, has your community been affected? How are you with work?
I'm in Carlsbad, New Mexico right now. I'm
Hmm.
fixing to move back to where cowboy boots are really made. That's called Texas. I'm starting a new shop in my hometown in Henrietta here really recently. Uh,
That's
COVID hasn't
exciting.
COVID hasn't affected me personally at all. Um, Maybe a few bootmakers. One customer said he didn't want to risk spending the money right now. Understandable.
Yeah,
Uh, but I mean, I got lucky and sold 5 pair of boots in one day.
good.
So, and I'm gonna open a shop, and that's happening in the midst of this too.
Wow. Are you
So
building it out? Are you building it out yourself or
no,
what's?
ma'am. There's 2 fellas in Henrietta that are they have they have some retail space, and they want to open a cowboy shop, and
Oh,
they've been wanting to do it for a while, and I just called them and said, hey boys, y'all want to do this? And they said sure. So
you're
I've
gonna
got the
share a space together, basically?
oh, absolutely, yes
Yeah.
ma'am.
Oh, that's great.
Basically I get a shop, and all I have to do is help out with electricity, so you can't beat
Great.
that with a stick, ma'am.
Yeah, that's great.
Mhm.
So what are you working on right now?
I just prepared a last and have put some insoles on this morning, and
Mm-hmm.
these tops,
Uh-huh.
I have this pair of tops in there for really. This is crazy, but Dean Jackson of Team Roper,
Yeah.
his Instagram is Team Roper, over in Hobbs,
Yeah.
and I are doing something really cool, and we're making each other a pair of boots so we can learn from one another on
Oh,
how we
that's
do stuff.
cool. How did you
So,
measure each other's feet?
yes, ma'am. I've been going over there one day a week just to
Uh,
talk and shoot, learn from a guy that's been doing it for 40 years. And
uh-huh.
I said, Dean, do you think we could make each other a pair of boots and see what happens? And he goes, man, I think that's a cool idea. And so we're going to do it.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
so technically right now at this very moment, I have 3 pair of boots started, and 2
Uh-huh.
of them are for bootmakers, and one of them is for another client. But
That's
I'm
great.
actually, I'm making a pair of boots for the fella that's right back behind me. His name is Billy Phillips. He's 83 years old, and he says, Matt, you think we
Wow.
could get a pair of boots? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So,
Oh, that's great.
uh,
Is
so
Billy also a bootmaker?
Billy has been a bootmaker.
Bootmaker. But
He's 83 years old, and
so yeah.
um, the hands
Yeah.
and the eyes.
Yeah, right, right.
That's
Well, how did you get started? How did you, I mean, I actually watched Jeremiah Craig's interview.
hmm
So I feel like I just saw you like recently.
we can do this story one more time.
Yeah, if you don't mind,
I
I
like to
actually
tell.
want to know like when did you start? Did you always like shoes and boots? And was it always in your life kind of? And how did
I,
you start? Who are your mentors? Where did you learn? I would love
Okay,
all the stories.
so I like cowboy boots a lot. Grew
Mm.
up wearing cowboy boots, but then I moved to Stephenville, Texas, and I quit wearing cowboy boots. And for
Why?
about, I didn't want to be like everybody else.
Oh.
Honest answer. Uh, and so I became a golfer. I grew up riding horses and stuff,
Uh-huh.
and then we moved to Stephenville, Texas, and I became a golfer. Hit golf balls all the time.
Oh.
And but I still like cowboy boots.
Yeah.
And we moved to Carlsbad, New Mexico, and I met this guy named Billy Phillips, and I liked cowboy boots, hated the way they fit. Uh, I didn't find anything on the shelf that I wanted to put on my foot,
Mm.
and begged him, or not begged, I asked him to teach me to build boots at 17, and he said, no, no,
Oh.
sir. I want something better for you in life than to be a bootmaker.
Huh.
And I was like, okay. See, Billy started selling boots to make more money because he
Um.
understands the life of a bootmaker it's tough. It's tough. It's not something that the weak-hearted stick to. You
Right.
will, if you don't got it in your blood, you'll disappear. And
Right.
so fast forward from 17 to 35 years old is a blank spot where I built golf courses and went to college and had a big time doing all of that.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and then Billy got cancer, and I went to work at his shop. And
Uh-huh.
when he got cancer, and he
How?
basically walked out the front door,
Uh-huh.
and I had all the granddaughters meet in the office, and I said I wanted to go build boots, learn how to build boots, and you couldn't have seen three happier faces. And they said, just get back before Billy does. And so that's when the journey began.
Uh-huh.
And then I was blessed with the opportunity to go home to Henrietta, Texas, and
Uh-huh.
stay with Mike Spikes for about 2 months.
Mike
And
Spice. Uh-huh.
and I made 3 pair of boots.
Mm.
And it was a learning part. It was the very, very beginning of
Yeah.
a much longer journey.
Yeah.
And
So,
then,
and did Billy take you on when when he left, he didn't really have, you went to his shop, but
he was selling. We were selling Red Wings and boots off the shelf.
okay.
A lot of, but his daddy was a bootmaker, and
Uh-huh.
Billy has made some boots. He's
Yeah.
definitely made some boots, but he had gone in the direction of needing to make more money,
Okay.
and understandable.
Right.
His dad was really the maker, but Billy
Right.
knows how to make a boot.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like trying to fill in the gaps here. So you learned
understandable.
from so you went back home to learn from Mike,
Yes, ma'am.
but not from Billy.
No, not from Billy.
No.
He
Wow. Okay. He's like
when he
right there, but
Well,
he
well, he doesn't like this story, but I'll tell it anyways. Uh, the day he got back from MD Anderson, they said he had no more cancer, and he just had to come
good.
for checkups and stuff like
Good.
that. So yay!
Yes.
But the day he got back, he was livid.
Why?
Now, unbeknownst to us, he had installed cameras all over the shop, and so he knew that I hadn't been there for 2 months. And when I walked in, he looked me in the eyes, and then he looked directly at my feet. And then he said, hello, and he said, get to work, boy. And I said, okay. I just turned, and, I mean, it was fairly obvious that I had brand new boots on. I mean, like, real obvious. And so I went to work and just took care of stuff, and he was irate with me, and about 1 o'clock, he called me to the kitchen and said, we need coffee, boy. And I said, okay. So I made a pot of coffee, and he says, well, I guess now that you know something, we got to give you a raise, and I guess we'll give you a key to the back so you can use the shop at night. And
Oh.
so that was about as accepting as Billy was in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
now he comes out here and he's talking to me, and he's like, oh, man, I need to get me a new sewing machine like that. That's a great sewing machine. I'm like, yeah, Billy,
Uh-huh.
just come sit at mine, man. You can come see
Yeah.
mine. And
Yeah.
so it's a lot of
Okay.
fun.
So
He's
he
my
has a
buddy.
shop right behind you, and you have a shop right in the front? That is Billy's shop.
That's Billy's shop. It's
I see. And then your
oh,
shop is here. That's great. That's great.
yeah. My shop is 178 square feet of if you can't build a cowboy boot or if you can't build a boot in this tiny little room, you
Uh-huh.
can't build a boot.
Well, technically, I guess, shoemakers don't really need that much space to make shoes in a way. I mean, it's just that a lot
True.
of machines take a lot of space,
Well,
right? But if you're sitting in
machines.
in your workbench, it's not much space you
Right.
need. Yeah.
I mean,
Do you,
I have some machines over in his shop because I'm spilling over. Like I have some that I really like to keep around
yeah,
and
you acquired machines as you had your journey.
oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, I messed around and went in the bank one day and the loan lady wasn't there. And I was running my trap, really. I said, well, where's Gina at? I was going to ask her for a loan today. And they were like, she's not here, Matt. She'll be back tomorrow. I go, oh, come on, girls. I'm just joking. Well, about 30 minutes later, Gina calls me and says, Matt, I'll be back. I'll be there tomorrow. What do you need? And I go, I was just joking, but I'd really like to have a boot shop. And she goes, all right. Well, next morning she called me and said, come to the bank. I got 20,000 for you. And I
Wow.
was like, you what? For real? So
Good.
she did it
That's great.
and let me have a boot shop.
That's great.
So
And so after learning at
we're
home
great.
back in Henrietta, but you came back here to New Mexico.
I that all broke up on me.
Oh, okay, that's okay. So yeah, so you learned from Mike,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, and then you came back, and then you settled
Hmm.
here. And how long has it been?
Since I was with Mike, Mike and I were together for a little while after that. It was like 6 or 8 months that I moved back to Henrietta, and I was there with him in his shop.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that time period, I'm an alcoholic, and I don't run from it. I'll explain it to anybody how I got to where I am. In that time frame, I got the chance to go to rehab. And when I was at rehab, they told me you're moving to Austin, Texas, and I was very adamant that I didn't want to go to Austin, Texas.
Right.
But they said you're going, and I said okay. Part of it's becoming willing to accept change and things like that. And I was like, all right. At this point in time, I said okay, but I'll go to Austin if I have a job.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, what's that mean? I said, well,
Yeah.
I have a specific skill set and I need a job.
Yeah.
And I said, we'll call Lee Miller and ask him if I can be his apprentice.
Uh-huh.
So I called and spoke to him for a little bit, got him
Uh,
some references, and then I didn't speak to him again until 2 days after I was out.
uh-huh.
But in that, my counselor was she was a new counselor and she was just coming up in the world of doing the stuff, but she was excited a lot.
Yeah.
And so she comes barreling out of her office, and I mean at a full trot. She was
Yeah.
moving, baby. And she comes running up to me and she goes, Matt, I've got good news and I've got bad news. And I said, I got like 20-something days clean. I'm ready. Let's do it. Tell me
Yeah.
what you got. And
Yeah.
she goes, the good news is Lee Miller is going to accept you as his apprentice. And I was
That's
like,
great.
all right, there's no bad news after this. Like, whatever. And she goes, he's not going to pay you. And I was like, lady, you are out of your mind if you thought I was getting paid to walk in that shop.
Yeah.
She had
Yeah.
no idea. She was
Yeah.
like, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to get another job. You got to
Yeah.
get two of them.
Yeah. 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 Oh, that's
But
so great. So when was
uh,
this? That was back in like 2017?
16, I think.
16?
I believe 17. 16 or 17. It was a few years ago. Several
Yeah.
years ago.
How long did you stay there for?
3 months.
That's
3
great.
months.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
And then
you
you came
walk
back
into
home
a,
again.
yes,
Yeah?
I went back to Henrietta, and then I ended up building some shoes that changed my life. And
Yeah.
when I built those shoes, I came out to New Mexico to start a nonprofit organization,
Huh.
putting shoes on people that needed them feet. And when I
Uh-huh.
say needed them, I'm talking like you couldn't go to the store and buy them.
Right.
We're going to figure out a way to make them and give them to them. But I got out here and that didn't work out. It fell apart real quick.
Mm.
But I was like, why am I here? What am I doing here? And the reality is I'm here to hang out with Billy for a little while.
Right.
And so
And
I'm here for a little while, but
ready to
when an
go back?
when
Ready
the
to go?
opportunity, yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah. When an opportunity like that comes up, you don't say no.
Right. Right. Okay.
I can't say no.
Right. When do you go back to Henrietta?
We've left it up in the air a little bit. Just sometime this fall is
Yeah.
going to happen.
All right.
I've got a few pair of boots that I need to get made.
Mm-hmm.
I've got two. If I can get 2.5 made, I'm ready to go at any point in time. If I
Right.
could get 3 made, I'm loading my stuff and coming, boys. Get out
Yes.
the way. We're coming.
That's great. And are you gonna take all your machines and go? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
A big move.
Yeah.
Great. Well,
Everything's going with me. So
all right. Good
if
luck with that.
anybody's got
Yeah.
a good back and they want to come to southern New Mexico, come on.
Yeah.
I'll put you to work.
Yeah. Moving the shop is the hardest, I think. Like moving a house, an apartment is easier than the shop. You know, there's so much equipment.
And
Yeah.
it's like re-putting stuff together. It's going to be 2 or 3 weeks of me making sure I got X, Y, or Z where I want it to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's gonna take a while.
It's a whole lot easier to move a house, Or
How
I think so.
And then how, yeah, I would love to see your workshop. Is that possible? Can you show us?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
All right.
somebody commented about, Matt, you did a good job for the young girl. Proud of you. Lawrence Katz. Yeah, was that, I think I saw on Instagram the shoe that you made.
Oh, I just dropped it.
Oh.
I just dropped one of them. Yeah,
you have a sample?
Well, I learned more from making this one than I did the other ones. You're going to ask in a minute, or you normally do. You ask, what's the favorite boot or shoe you've ever made?
Yes.
And it's not a very good picture. Let me move around a little bit. This one right here.
Yeah. How old was the girl? What's the size?
Her name is Laura, and the size is Laura. Size is Laura.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to mess this up. She either has, it's called a rectodactyl or a rectodactyly or somewhere in that neighborhood. Don't shoot me. My initials are MD, but that's as close as I get to being a doctor.
Like wider, right? Like
she only has 2 toes.
2 toes.
And they're 2 toes, and they're very. It looks like that. Her foot looks something like that. And I met her dad online, and he was trying to get help. He just needed somebody to help him make shoes, and it real quickly it turned into, bro, you don't need somebody to help you. You need somebody to do it, and then you need to go learn.
Yeah.
And so we got some measurements from him, and he drew for me instead of using the pedograph, which I would prefer, but he drew it out for me and he shipped it to me, and we did it like this. I was watching him measure the foot so I could measure the last relatively close. I'd never made a shoe. I'd always made something without laces.
Right.
And so I didn't know the fudge factor that I had. There's a big fudge factor on making a shoe versus making a cowboy boot, by the way. I mean, it's massive.
I don't know what you mean by the fudge factor, but let's hear that. Yeah. What is your fudge factor?
Okay, hold on. Let me grab.
Are you talking about the lining?
No, not
No.
designing. Like when I make a last,
Yeah.
our lasts, because we have no laces,
Yeah.
we have no. This has to be held, and it needs to be
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right
It
at
needs
the
to be
back.
held,
Yeah.
and it needs to be
Instep,
right. Well,
yeah.
when you got laces, I mean, if it's a little
Oh,
bit
you can
big right there,
adjust it.
yeah. If it's a
Yeah.
little bit big or a little bit small, you can cheat it. So I didn't know that. So if I'd have known that, I'd be like way ahead of the game because laces are cool, man. It's like cheating compared to doing this.
Uh-huh.
And I'm joking. I'm not
No,
trying
no,
to put
no.
any. I mean, I know there's a lot of shoemakers
No, no,
that
it's okay. I
take
see.
a real
Adjustable.
care.
Let's call it adjustable. Fudging, yeah.
Adjustable. Yeah.
Adjustable.
So I was trying to make this last like I would make a boot last, and
Uh-huh.
trying to get it like down
Right.
to the
Right.
money.
Right.
And I could have gotten away with a little bit more than I did, but
Right.
uh,
But that's great that you
we
made
got
it.
them made, and I was scared. The only reason I ever got in my pickup and go to Florida is because I was scared that they weren't gonna fit. I was like, man, if these don't fit, we're gonna come home, we're gonna try it again. But if we try it again, we're gonna do it on my measurements. So I took all my stuff, and me and my buddy got in the pickup.
You
and
drove?
We got in the pickup and we drove to Florida. And
Wow.
yeah, we.
How long did that take?
16, 17 hours, something like that.
Wow.
I don't know. We drove straight through to have that little girl's shoe on.
That's
And
great.
if you want to see a good video, it's called A Texas-Sized Boot Delivery on YouTube.
Oh, really? I'll
And,
check it out. But Texas size boot
delivery.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
write it down
It's
on YouTube.
and another little tidbit of advice: if you're going to have the greatest day of your life, ask a TV reporter to show up and film it. The TV reporter won an Emmy, like a regular real life Emmy, from us delivering that boot. It was fun, man.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. Okay, so we were. What's up?
That's your favorite shoe that you ever made. Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, but
I can see it.
I spilt a bucket load of dye on this boot, on this shoe.
Yeah.
And I had two kids in my shop. One of them's 19, the other one's like 17 or 18. And I almost lost my cookies. I was mad, dude. I was hot. And then I just walked back in. We started over. And one of the boys, Ben, looks up at me and goes, that was pretty good, Matt. I'm proud of you.
Oh.
And so I learned more from this shoe than I learned from many. And that's just patience. And even when you get to the end, you could make a mistake that you got to start all over again. So Ben already had leather out and was starting to cut a new shoe by the time I got in here. But he knew what was going on. So I learned more from this one than I'll learn from any. I'm sure of it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great.
And
I'll definitely I'll check out the video for sure.
Yeah.
And may I ask, that wasn't for your not-for-profit that you were talking about, right?
That was the very beginning. Like I just made it and drove it to her, and we didn't charge her a dime.
Wow.
We made 3 more pair. That's the 3rd pair that I have.
Yeah.
The first pair was a little bit taller. They were, but
like
I didn't. Well, I've never made a shoe before, ever, at all, at any, nothing.
Right.
And that was the very first one, so it kind of looks like a baby cowboy boot. Well, a baby lace-up boot-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
But let's take you around the shop quick.
Yeah, please.
All right, so this is my just regular cutting table, and it normally looks like a bomb went off.
Yeah.
I have a 5-in-1.
Yeah.
And then cowboy hats.
Yeah.
And here's a splitter. This is my bench with all my hand tools and junk like that on it.
Yeah, that's great.
One of the questions is,
Yeah, I
hand
always
tool?
ask the same question. Sorry, it's like
No,
getting
no,
old, but
no. But I
I,
like to answer them.
yeah,
Uh,
this your favorite tool? Is this your favorite tool?
um, it is my favorite tool, but it's not because it's like I use it all the time. I don't. I
Mm.
use it some. I'll use it on every pair of boots. But
Yeah.
the reason that that's one of my favorites is a pretty good story too. When I went to work for Lee, he says, "Matt, let me see your bag of tools," and I pulled it out and I showed it to him, and he went through all my tools, and some of them he's like, "You're not going to use that." I was like, "Okay, fair," but he pulled out that pair of pliers, and he says, "I need to tell you a story about this pair of pliers," and then he
Oh.
reached down on his own bench, and he picked up identical pliers to these.
Uh-huh.
But identical, and they had 3 notches in them. And he says, "Matt, uh, Charlie, after I, this is, Lee says, how do I get this? Okay, Charlie would come back and say, to see Lee after after Lee had bought the shop.
Uh-huh.
And Charlie, everything in the room was Charlie's. I
You're
mean,
right.
all of it was Charlie's at one point in time.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure just because Lee paid for it, it was still Charlie's, but I don't know. Uh, but Charlie would walk in and he would pick up this pair of pliers, here,
Yeah.
his pair, and
Yeah.
he would shake it in Lee's face and say, "These are my pliers."
Yeah.
And then he would put them back down. So it makes me a little connected to history and a little connected to some really awesome people.
Yeah.
And so
And
that's my favorite hand tool just because of that.
is that plier also from Lee's shop, or was it that you just so happened to have it and it was the
eBay,
exact same ones?
eBay is a cool place to purchase old tools.
Yep.
And that was an eBay purchase
Uh-huh.
um, way in the beginning, like when I was trying to find tools, and I just
Yeah.
happened upon the same pair. So
That's great.
there,
That is so good.
yeah. Oh, and so here is my lasting jack. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I had the cool ladies down at the quilt shop make me a little pad for it, so
Yeah.
uh, and that's pretty handy. And then I got hand tools all
Yes.
along
Yep.
there.
Yep.
This is my 5550 big Cobra machine.
Uh-huh.
I stitch all my tops and basically my tops.
Right.
I have a post machine over here.
Uh-huh.
Um, sew on counters and counter covers, and I'm most of the time sew on my vamps and vamp liners with it as well.
Nice.
This right here
Oh,
is
I
one of the
saw that
coolest
on
things in the world.
Instagram. Yeah, that's
This
great.
this is called a crimp break.
Yeah.
It's basically a really cool guillotine for leather. Whoops.
Yeah.
And it helps us out
Yeah.
immensely.
Do you use it all the time? Do you always crimp your
Every pair of boots that
vamps?
I ever make will be crimped.
Yeah.
These are
Be
crimping boards.
yeah. Before you
So
got them, you used to hand crimp them?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that no more neither. Uh,
Okay. But you have the machine. That's great.
I do have the machine, and even with the machine,
Yeah.
this right here
Uh-huh.
is very, very neat. Uh,
What is that?
it's an L block with some
Fur?
fuzzy fur underneath, so I don't tear up any leather.
Okay.
My my buddy Billy wanted me to make some stuff for him out of some really old ostrich, and I was having a hard time getting it crimped down.
Uh-huh.
And I was fussing and fighting one night, and finally I was like, "Well, dude, why don't you go in the big shop, cut you some pieces of 2x4, and see if you can't make a way to cheat." And I found a way to cheat, and
Oh.
I'm gonna
Do
keep
you
that.
mind sharing? Or what's it? Is this using this L-shaped little device you made?
Okay, hold on.
I'm so curious.
All right, so this is a crimp board.
Yeah.
and it's caught underneath that piece of
Uh-huh.
that
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's essentially just giving me a third hand
Uh-huh.
at pulling leather. Like
Uh-huh.
I'll pull
Yeah.
leather,
Yeah.
oh, pull my leather over this board, and it gives
Yeah.
me an extra hand. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Lisa Sorrell has a table that's made specifically for it. Uh, I don't have the space for a table. I mean, not even close. And this little bracket does all the work of a table
Oh,
for me.
right.
So um,
So you have it under there and then you crimp it and then you have an extra hand, but you're you're protecting the leather on the top, but what about on the bottom?
it's just a flat piece of wood. I mean, it's
Yeah.
nothing. I'm not. If I was really worried about something, I could crimp it inside out,
Oh, right,
and so
right.
my inside leather would be. But most of
But
the time, it's not something that I'm that worried about.
I
I
see.
make sure there's no crust and crud on my bench, but
Right,
other
right.
than that, we're normally.
Pretty good.
I'm trying to be
That's
cautious
cool.
with it, but
Right.
not
Yeah. No,
not
that's
majorly.
great. That's a good idea.
It has helped me out, and maybe somebody might help somebody's watching.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
great. Thank you.
hmm
And then, yeah, did we already get a whole tour? I'm like, maybe
Well,
we
we
haven't.
only missed one machine,
Yeah,
and uh,
that is a
that is
finisher.
my finisher.
Aha.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
Um, it was pricey, but it
worth
was a
it.
necessity. Yeah, the
Yeah.
variable speed on a finisher is pretty nice.
Aha.
It's handy when you're doing some finish work.
Right.
It helps me out a good chunk on finish work.
Definitely. What about your outsole stitching? What do you do with
Oh,
that?
oh,
Do
oh,
you
mom.
do you hand stitch?
No. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
We
Oh,
missed
there
this
it
one.
is.
That is a Landis head in an auto solar box. So
Uh-huh.
it's a Landis L. A
Oh.
Landis. It's either a Landis L or a Landis K. I get them
Huh.
mixed up. They're pretty close in my world. Like something about how they change the stitch length is different, but it's a
Right.
Landis
Yeah.
of some sort, and it's in an auto solar box. So yeah, it's the
That's
toughest machinery to learn to use in bootmaking or shoemaking. I'm
yeah.
pretty sure. I
Which
mean,
one was your first purchase?
oh, first purchase was the 5550 big.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I okay, so I'd learned to sew on a servo motor and a servo motor with a speed reducer on it,
Yeah.
and I had come back to Carlsbad, and I was in Billy's shop, and he came in one morning. I'd been there all night long trying to sew. He came in, and I had my socks on, and I was trying to sew in my socks because one of those things are quick. I
Yeah.
mean, a clutch motor and those bad
Yeah.
boys,
Oh,
they
yeah.
fly.
Yeah.
And so I called Leather Machine Company and had one in the mail the next morning.
Yeah. The
Because,
servo motors. Yeah.
well, no, I had
No.
the 5550
50.
big. I had the
Oh,
whole
okay.
machine coming.
Uh-huh.
It was on the way. So
Yeah.
that was my first purchase.
That's okay. And then you just kept on getting more and more, I guess. Right?
Well,
Like,
once I decided to build a shop in the trailer, it was all pretty much go at that point in time.
yeah.
I added the uh, Soul Stitcher the
Yeah.
last
Uh,
because I was still scared of it, and I'm lucky enough to have a bootmaker or two pretty close that,
yes.
hey man, will you sell this for me? Sure. Yeah,
Uh,
and they knew, in the very beginning, if you don't have a healthy respect for that machine,
yeah.
you're crazy. You're
Yeah.
absolutely nuts.
Yeah. But now you're best friends with your machine, yeah?
Oh no, best friends. We like each other, but he'd come to my birthday party, but I don't know about my best friend. Yeah, but that 5550 big in the back, that's my best buddy. We like to hang out
Right.
and
Right.
yeah.
And where do you get your inspiration from? Like, do you and your customers kind of collaborate, or do they give you free reign?
It depends on who it is.
Mm.
sometimes I think it's really awesome when they just say go do whatever, and then other times I'm like, tell me something, give me what you want.
Yeah.
Um, this
Any.
I just finished a pair of boots last week
Mm-hmm.
that uh, the lady gave me not a lot of instruction, and then she didn't want the boots, and it wasn't because they didn't fit. If it was because they didn't fit, I'd be hurt. But
Right.
she didn't want the leather, and so it's okay.
Oh.
Uh, yeah,
Right.
but
But
she
I.
didn't give me. I just didn't get a lot of instruction, so
Right.
and it's okay. And
That's.
and on something like that, I just figure it's the big guy taking care of me. Like maybe I needed to do something in my pattern making. And I think
Mm-hmm.
there is something in the pattern making. The lady's broken her foot. She's got pins in there forever, and
Right.
she's lost some dexterity.
Yeah.
So I think there's a reason that I'm supposed to make this pair of boots again. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
gonna do it.
All right.
Mm.
Do you like making pointier toes or taller boots? What about the height of your shaft? What do you like the best? Which style do you like the best?
What do I like the best? I
Yeah.
like me personally, but we're only talking about Matt the First boots. Anybody that walks in, I only have two requests when you come in the shop, and
Mm.
you want a pair of boots.
Mm-hmm.
Know your toe box, know the
Yeah.
toe that you want, and know the
Mm-hmm.
heel height that you want. And after that, we can come up with anything. And
Right.
if they come in and they say, "Man, I want a pin toe," well, I'm gonna say yes, knowing that I've never done it in my life, and I'm
Mm.
gonna pick the phone up and go, "Excuse me, I need you to save my rear end." And
But you have a network of makers, which is cool.
yeah, it's really nice that that it's not the old way of bootmaking. It is to an extent, but it's not. Like old bootmaker theory is don't help nobody about nothing on the boot.
Right.
And we're slowly coming over to a new age, and I think we should have been coming over to the new age a long time ago. And it's a network to where we help each other now,
Yeah.
as opposed to what it used to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right.
and so I could call several people and say, "Man, could you give me some help on this one?"
Yeah.
And the answer is probably going
Pointers.
to be yes. Uh,
That's cool.
yeah.
That's cool. What's the favorite process of the bookmaking?
My favorite process. I don't know. I like when the boots lasted. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you got your leather on a last.
Mm-hmm.
I like that process. I like that part. It's really cool. Uh,
Mm.
but when it comes to like an actual making part, I used to hate it the most. This used to be the part that I didn't want to do. Like I would put it off an extra day because I didn't want to do it. But
Yeah. What
now,
would that
now,
be?
now today, it's making a last, uh,
Making the last. Ah.
and it's because it's not my most fun thing to do in the world. It's not like I just dream about doing it, but it's where a boot gets its soul. Uh,
Yeah.
and if you're making a boot on a last that's not good, you're making a not good boot.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do on the other side. You can
Yeah.
make something so beautiful.
Yeah.
It it doesn't matter how beautiful it is. It could be
Yeah.
awesome. If the last is horrible, then the boot is horrible.
Right. Right.
And so,
So last comes first.
and
Yeah.
first comes the last.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
So, yeah, okay. And for the last making, have you been like, is it through experience or have you had like, I know that Lee is also really into the last making. Did you learn from watching him as well?
Yes, definitely watching. I mean, when you're working over there and you can see master hands working. If you're not paying attention to learn something, you're not in the right spot.
Right.
Uh, but a lot of it is trial and error. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm fortunate. I know how fortunate I am. Over the past 4.5 years, I've been making boots for the majority of them are from Matt Defer, and they were for me on purpose because how do you gain absolute feel? There's only one way, and
Yeah.
that's to put it on your own foot.
Yeah.
And I truly didn't feel like I was producing a boot that was adequate to be sold to the public.
Mm.
And I don't feel that way anymore. Come on,
Good.
bring them to
Good.
me. And so blessed to be able to work on several lasts for myself. I have 3 different lasts under this table right now. Now,
So do you always wear your own boots that you made?
all day, every day.
Yeah. Which one are you wearing today?
I have on some fish boots.
Fish boots.
Yeah, they're made out of arapaima fish.
Huh.
Mm,
Oh, wow. Yeah. Do you like this? It's like a half square toe. Very cool. How
this is
tall is the boot? Is it
this,
16-inch?
it's a big one. I made it. Whoops, sorry. Uh, I made it for a show boot, and
Uh-huh.
I mean
Did it? I think, did
it's
you win
16.
did you win?
I won the Intermediate's Top Stitching Award.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
Yeah,
recent, no? Like,
don't,
was it
don't.
last year?
Yes, ma'am. It was last year's, like last October. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't tell them, but
congratulations.
they let a boot through with a hole in the toe. I had the patch job on it. Yeah, I was planning on entering in the open category, but that lasting fish is scary stuff, and this is the only lasting pliers you get. You get your hands, and
It's
and
super
if you
thin?
it was a juvenile fish. This is a
Oh,
tiny little fish, so it took me 2 fish to make 1 boot, but
uh-huh.
it was really thin, and it was
Uh-huh.
really, really like I had to patch it. You know,
Wow.
no way
Wow.
around it. I would make it again, but it'd be for somebody like a banker or somebody office. I would make it for an office monkey, but if you're a cowboy, and I'd be like, no way, Jose. No, sorry,
Yeah.
boss. You can't do
Yeah.
that. Um,
Is it even fragile on your feet? Do you get it scuffed and does it like,
it scuffs up a lot,
yeah,
but it's so stinking comfy. It's unreal.
it's great. Wes
Thank,
from Music
thanks,
City Letters
Wes.
is fish don't belong on boots.
Yeah, I know, Wes.
That's funny. So what's your favorite material to work with? Would you
Um,
would that be on the list of your
oh,
favorites? No.
definitely not. Like,
No.
no, they're gonna have to like beg me to make them fish boots. I'll make them. Like, I like them. They're fun. I'm not really beg me either.
Yeah.
But oh, I like ostrich. Ostrich is fun.
Ostrich.
And the standard bullhide. If bullhide is full, it's cool. It stretches well. It plays well. And
Yeah.
it lasts buttery, dreamy. You know.
Beautifully. Yeah.
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 But as long as it's leather, bring it. We'll stick it.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you feel like let's see how many pairs have you made already?
I'm somewhere in like 41-ish,
Yeah.
42.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that went in the trash, folks. I mean, I was building boots and it'd get to last, and then I'd look at it. It wouldn't go on the last, and then
Mm,
we'd have a cute little burial. I'd walk out to my trash can. I'd say, blessed be thy name. Adios.
oh
And see you
man.
later.
Oh
And
man.
so, I mean,
Uh-huh.
anybody that's doing this is, in the beginning, if they didn't chunk some stuff in the trash, they were standing next to somebody that was real good. And if you were just trying by yourself and you
Yeah.
didn't chunk something in the trash,
Yeah.
you're a bad man.
Yeah. So
Or,
Dina McGuffin was saying to tell everybody that like just number your boots because in a lifetime you're gonna go through however many and it's nice to know the number. That's what she was
well,
saying.
it is cool to know the number, but the reality is this: I'm only as good as the last one I made.
Right.
You know,
Right.
if the
Right.
last one
Yeah.
went on, I'm doing good. If the last
Yeah.
one didn't go on, then I'm not so good.
Right. Okay. Well, I hope you have like many more to come. And I'm looking forward to Dean Jackson's pair that you're making.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Is
I'm
that
looking.
the red one that you showed us? Was that for him?
These are hot pink.
Hot pink. I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Hot pink. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that is that for him or no?
Yeah. These are for Dean. These
That's
are for
for.
Dean. Yeah. And
And do you know what he's making for you? What color? What style?
I didn't graduate, but I went to high school in Steamville, Texas. So they're blue and gold. Go
Oh, okay.
Jackets, by the way. Yeah.
Blue and
They
gold.
won their
Cool.
first football game. They won their first football game this past Friday night, and they blew them out. So maybe they'll blow them out again. And Brownwood
Cool. Oh,
Brownwood
oops.
Stephenville game, I'll have a pair of bright blue and gold boots, and I mean they are.
Right.
I
That's
mean
cool.
gold.
Do you usually wear your boots inside or outside the pants?
I'm not a tucker, you know.
Okay.
There. I
Just
don't.
asking.
I'm not on the horse all day long. I haven't been on a horse in probably
No.
5 years or more, 3, 4. I don't know, a few years. It's been a while, you know. So uh, I don't have spurs on my boots either.
Right.
So
Right.
no,
Okay.
but I
Just
like it when
checking.
they do. I like it
Yeah.
when I make them for them that do. You know, those are
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you had all the resources available to you and no worries about life, what kind of boots would you make? And for who? For you? Yeah.
I would make boots for me all the time, and I
Yeah.
would never have a customer again. And perfect the I would
The
perfect the
fit.
mat the fur last. I mean,
Yeah.
I would be like money,
Mhm.
uh, but it
Yeah,
would
you
take
were
me a few more
I
years.
remember you were saying that cowboy boots didn't fit you when you were growing up. Like, do you know why now that you make your own? Like
I
what kind of fit on the last? Like, do you know your
I
feet much better now, I guess?
Oh, absolutely. I have a fairly thin heel and
Uh-huh.
a wider forefoot.
Yeah. Oh, same
Uh,
with me.
uh,
Oop.
this is my cowboy boot last right here. Uh, there's a few others underneath there, but you'll see where
Yeah.
I've added some leather in here,
Yeah.
and I've added some leather over here too. Uh, and I've actually taken some out of this heel. Uh,
Uh-huh.
this is the, this was a 10B last, and I've taken a little bit out here, and I've taken a little bit out here. Uh, also, I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's not flat. There's a
The
convex nature
curve.
to that
Wait,
right there. On
con this way or wait, this way. Sorry.
convex,
This. Okay.
there's a dish right here,
Oh, okay.
and I was just talking to an old bootmaker, and he says, "Matt, pull that boot off. I want to see it." And I pulled my boot off, and I showed it to him, and he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, does your last have a
Con.
concave
Yeah.
concave part out of it?" And I said, no, sir. And he says, "Go over, look on that shelf." And it was a shelf full of lasts, like no telling how many,
Yeah.
uh, no telling how many that old boy has. Well,
Yeah.
buildings full of them, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But he told me which one to pick up, and he says, "Your last should look like that on the bottom."
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Yeah, you're full of crap, dude." But uh, I listened to him, and I went home and I did it, and he was right. You know,
Uh,
some of them old fellas are right.
uh-huh.
Most of them are, to tell you the truth. Uh, and so I
So
did
there's
it, and it fits comfortably.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Is it to support like there's like a little what do you call it? Like behind the ball of the foot there's a little arch.
hmm
Is that
But
sort of what supports it?
if I naturally sit, like say I've got my left foot just hanging over my right foot, just like I do right now, and
Yeah.
I don't have a boot on, I don't have anything on.
Yeah.
Uh, when my foot sits like that,
Yeah.
there's an obvious curvature in my
Yeah.
own personal foot.
Yeah.
Now, and that's why I'm pretty sure that's why he said, "Matt, that's going to feel really comfortable when you put it on. And he wasn't kidding. He was right.
Right.
It does feel good. And it
Do
doesn't
you,
feel good for everybody.
right, right.
You
Are
know,
you going to make sort of like a standard last, kind of like, is that going to become your last, or you always customize it to the customer's foot? Yeah,
everybody to
everybody's
their
different.
foot. It's, I can't interject myself in the boots. I was doing
Right.
that for a long time, and I was measuring with the tape significantly too tight. And
Mm,
uh, I was interjecting myself into the boot, and I have to realize that it's not me that's going in the boot.
yeah,
My foot never going to fit, but
right,
it's someone else's foot. So
right.
it's all about their foot. Always.
Yeah, right,
Always, always,
right.
always.
That's great. That's great. So do you take any interns, or do you have anybody who's helping you? I heard on the other interview that you had your dad is helping you?
Oh, oh, no, my dad's going to retire October the
Oh,
15th. And he he worked in a boot shop 40 years ago, or
mm-hmm.
more than 40, because, yeah, that would have meant I'd been alive. So it was before I was born that he worked in a boot shop,
Uh-huh.
and boot and shoe repair shop.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, I'm losing you. Oh yeah, I lost you for a second. Sorry. Yeah.
my phone's mad at me. Hold on a second. Can we turn sideways? Is that bad? Is that horrible for everybody?
Yeah.
Uh, let's see if we can't do like that
Yeah.
and do a little changing, because my
Did
phone's.
your dad just miss the shop, like smell or the atmosphere, or
No, he's really gonna retire, and
okay.
I'm gonna I'm gonna get him to come down and make some boots with me and have a big time. Just make sure he doesn't sit on the couch and be done, you know. So it's
Have you
really
ever
just me messing with my dad.
have you ever made a pair for him?
Oh, oh yeah.
Yes.
Uh, this pair.
Uh-huh.
Uh, let me find a place that I can sit you down.
Oh, sure.
Uh, do a little finagling here. Sorry,
Oop. No, it's okay.
but this
Oh,
pair is for
nice.
Dad. We just
Nice.
hadn't sewn the pulls down yet.
Yeah, yeah.
They got chunked in the corner. We'll get them. I'd
That's
imagine he'll have them on October the 15th. We'll get him for a retirement present or something.
nice. That's super nice. Was that
Yeah.
design like a feathers
Oh, it
or
was
leaves? I couldn't
uh,
tell.
Dustin Wall calls it the oak leaf pattern. So
Yeah.
we'll we'll go with that. You know.
Oak. Yeah, yeah. Very
Uh,
cool. Do you like
you know,
top stitching?
love it,
Love it.
love it.
Yeah.
I want nothing like, okay. So our show, like for us, uh, the big one is the Boot and Saddle Makers Roundup in Wichita Falls, which is 20 miles from my house. They give out buckles. They give out a Master Award buckle. They give out several buckles, and I only want to win one of them. Someday I'll have it, and it's the Top Stitching Award.
Top stitching.
I'm not the greatest artist in the world. I'll probably put something in for the cowboy boot, the cowboy boot at some
Yeah.
point in time.
Yeah.
I don't winning the artist award would be like I'd have to do something crazy outside of Matt the Fairland,
Yeah.
which is possible. I mean, I'm not saying I won't ever do that. The dress boot is, I don't care if I win it at all. I don't even care if I ever enter, but I might.
Yeah.
Not closing any doors, just saying it's not big in my world right now. But
Right.
the if I only won one buckle, and it'd be the Open Top Stitching Award, and
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
gonna keep fighting until we get there, or
All
they.
right. All right. Looking forward to that. And then super personally, how many hats do you own?
There's 3 here, and there's another one at the house. Uh, this is my good straw, and then we got my old straw, and then
Uh-huh.
we've got my my everyday felt.
I
I
love
had
it.
it.
It's so
I had
great.
it out the other day,
Yeah. No,
but
it's so great.
maybe we'll get a new one or two. You know, I like hats.
Yeah, me too. Do you make
I
hats
like hats
too?
and boots.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Do you make your hats too?
I unfortunately did make this one. Uh, I used to work at Cavender's in Austin. I had to have a job when I was in uh when I was in Austin because I wasn't making any money building
Right.
boots. And so I was at Cavender's, and so it was exactly this time of year because this would have been I think 3 or 4 years ago today.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Oh,
I Cowboy Hat rules. September the 1st rolls around. You no more wear the
straw.
straw. It
Oh,
don't matter what the temperature outside is at Cavender's. They tell you got to wear a
the
felt hat
felt.
or you can't wear one. And I was
Oh,
like, dude, I got to drive all the way home. And he said, no, man, I'll make you a pretty good deal on that hat. And I was
nice.
like, oh, okay, I guess I'll buy it. And
Yeah.
then been
Yeah.
making a hat band most of the time. I'll make a hat band. That's a
That's a hat band
peo-
you made?
yeah.
Mm.
This is a peyote stitched hat
Uh-huh.
band. I don't know
Uh-huh.
if you can see that worth the dart or not. Whoops, let me flip it around.
That's cool.
That's a
Okay.
that's a peyote stitched hat
Did
band. Those are little
bead?
tiny beads.
Yeah, you beaded it?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Uh,
amazing.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's remembering your ancestors. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I am I'm a card carrying Native American, so
Okay.
we're registered, and
Yeah.
so it's a little bit of history. My
Yeah, it's great.
my great great grandfather was the holy man for the Shawnee tribe of Oklahoma, so that's
Uh-huh.
pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah,
Yes. I
yeah.
wonder if you'll incorporate that into your boots. Kind of.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Beating, if I beat a boot for somebody, I love that person, and I'm talking like real love, like my mom maybe. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but beating is a passion that you love or you don't do it, and
Mm.
I like it. You know, I like, and I'm a bead snob. I mean, I am. I only want to wear peyote stitched beadwork. I'm not a big fan of loom beading, but
Right,
that
right.
just makes me a snot. But I'm willing to do the work to get my
Yeah.
own stuff.
Yeah. No,
I'm
that's
not willing to do the work so somebody else gets the stuff.
right, right. I see.
Yeah,
Got it. Got it. But if
yeah.
somebody were to know that you do beading and they came to you with like, oh, I wish you could incorporate a beading into the boot, would you do it? Yeah, if you do, okay, good, good. That's good to know.
If they bring the money, it's
It's time consuming.
I
I
mean
get it.
it's gonna be pricey.
Yeah,
Uh, it's gonna be
I
expensive.
get it.
It's
There's
gonna be flat out
Amy.
really pricey.
Amy LA 1009 says, Matt, you better let your dad relax for his retirement. He has earned it.
Hey, I've only learned a little bit in life, and you don't let anybody that lives where hurricanes have the ability to knock your house down tell you what to do. And I'm kidding with Amy. She's my good buddy from South Louisiana.
Oh,
It was in my golf course building career.
I
Uh,
see. Oh, that's
and
great.
if Amy don't act right, I'll bring her a Mexican Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But yeah, no, I hope that you and your dad have like a bootmaking party together.
Oh,
Uh,
we are.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, he's gonna come in and make his own boots. We're
yeah.
gonna make him do that.
Is he gonna move you to Henrietta together? Like, does he live there
No,
or
no,
no? He's in Carlsbad.
I didn't get all I didn't get all of that, but he's not gonna move to Henrietta.
Okay, got
He's
it.
he's gonna stay in Carlsbad
Got it.
for the time
Got it.
being. But
Got it.
he can. I got an extra bedroom, and he can come.
Right.
Are
Yeah.
you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, you know, I think I have like a timer going. Countdown is gonna start. So we have a 60-minute limit, but I don't want to hold up so much. But can you hear me? Can you hear me? No?
I have no idea. What you paused due to poor
Sorry,
connection?
can you hear me?
It might be on my end.
Okay. I
No,
can hear you.
is it on my end?
Possible.
You can see
I
me and
can
hear
hear
me?
you. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I get little bits. Okay, what was that last part before you?
I was just saying I don't want to keep you for too long, but I want to see what you keep on working.
No idea again.
Oh, it's
No
okay.
idea.
Amy says, ha ha hush, you know you love living in Louisiana. Oh, that's funny. I'll let you go. Can you hear me? Oh, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm gonna let you go for now. Thank you for sharing your journey into bootmaking. It's just starting. Can you hear me?
I,
No.
no, I'm not hearing it. All I'm getting is like bing boing bong bong. It's like
Um,
binking around. Like I don't even.
to let you go. Yeah.
Have a great day.
Sorry about
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thank
No,
you.
have a great day, and thank you for what you're doing for boot and shoemakers. You're getting
Oh,
this out
thanks.
there a little bit, and it's admirable trait. Thank you so much, ma'am, for having me today.
Thank you. Okay,
Bye bye.
bye.